You're listening to The Calm Train out of TheraRadio.com. You're listening to The Calm Train out of TheraRadio.com.
Past 5 p.m. in Washington, D.C. and the surrounding suburbs. You're on the Calm Train with Imran Siddiqui. It's a cloudy evening here, so a pleasant good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good night, good morning. Whatever time that you guys have, no matter where you are, I hope you guys are okay. We're on the comm train out of TheraRadio.com and VA107.com. Chugging along. It's amazing when a decade back, 10 years ago, I used to work in DC with the US government. I used to live in DC, but I hated it, so I moved out with my family to Virginia, Alexandria first, then Woodbridge. And I remember I used to take my train every morning to work. And you know, the amazing thing is that I used to take that train from Woodbridge to DC, which is about 35 minutes ride, and the scenes never changed. Just like in this video, I mean, it's the same scenes because it's the same route. And I remember I never got tired of the views. In fact, it used to be pretty soothing. It's something about it, you know, something about looking at the green. It does something to our psyche, our hearts, and our brains. Well, the word of today is forgiveness. That's what we will be talking about on the comm train with Imran Siddiqui from Washington, D.C. at TheraRadio.com. Good evening, America.
Broadcasting therapeutic sounds 24/7 on TheraRadio.com.
29 minutes past 5 p.m. Chugging along on the Calm Train with Imran Siddiqui. Coming at you live from Washington, D.C. and the suburbs, surrounding cities. Playing cool, laid-back, original jazz music, which is produced by me, thanks to God, which will be a part of my collection, the Jazz Train collection is coming soon. I just wanted to do this exclusively for God. Yeah, that's how it should be. But I wanted to play this stuff before I publish this, just as a side project. There's a lot of stuff that you can catch at TheraRadio.com. Different music, rock, jazz, calming music, lo-fi, you name it, you got it there. I launched Thera after my mom got sick, and she had a stroke and she needed therapy. And in the process of being through those hospitals and the nursing centers, I learned about sound therapy, which helped me and my mom. When someone's sick in your family, dude, I mean, everyone gets affected. It's not just the person who's sick. Everyone gets affected, and we all need to find ways to relax and calm down. That's where Thera came in. And I don't even care if no one's listening or watching, because I know God is listening and watching. And I started doing this for my mom, and after some time my mom's cognitive situation declined. So even she can't listen to it. Originally all of this was actually for her, because my mom loves jazz music. And I'm not really a jazz guy. I used to work at a jazz radio station 3 decades ago in the Philippines. But I produce a lot of rock and alternative and pop and dance and electronic music. So don't get me wrong, I'm not like one of those jazzy guys. I like blues though. That's what I was playing with my bands and myself in my solo career and with my bands throughout the past 35 years. And after doing a lot of politics and TV and all other bullshit, I just wanted to go back to basics.
On TheraRadio.
You're listening to The Calm Train.
Jazz music on the Calm Train with Imran Siddiqui. And today we're talking about forgiveness. And people who are listening from anywhere else outside of the US understand that blackouts and power outages can happen anywhere in the world. We just had one in Virginia. massive thunderstorm. Boom, boom. Shook everything. Lights went out a bunch of times. But just like those cool, hardworking Americans, man, I can see the Novak guys working out there. You know, a shout out to Novak, by the way. The electric company, power company in Virginia. After the storms, these guys are out helping families and people get their power back. So appreciate you guys, all the people out there for Novak. What is forgiveness? Forgiveness is the conscious, intentional decision to let go of resentment, anger, or the desire for revenge towards someone who has hurt or wronged you. Let me repeat that again so it sinks in. Forgiveness is the conscious, intentional decision to let go of resentment, anger, or the desire for revenge towards someone who has hurt or wronged you. Man, this is pretty profound, you know, because as I read this, I feel like I haven't been doing this, man. So it's like therapy for myself to talk about it. To be forgiveness. So basically, what it means is to, if someone's hurt you or wronged you, and you pass over them, it doesn't mean.
The Calm Train at TheraRadio.com on VA 107.
It doesn't mean forgetting or excusing the offense, nor does it require reconciliation. But forgiveness is about freeing yourself from the emotional burden that the offense has placed on you. That's pretty heavy. So it's about basically exercising forgiveness is good for me. That's what it's saying. It's not even about, you know, ways to reconcile or to excuse. No, it's about freeing yourself from the emotional burden that the offense has placed on you. Let that sink in. So in a way, forgiveness is like giving a gift to yourself, more than to the person who wronged you. Forgiveness involves empathy, compassion, and understanding. It is an act of strength, not weakness, and it leads to inner peace, emotional well-being, and often personal growth. And check this one. It's not even about condoning bad behavior. It's about choosing your peace over prolonged pain. Forgiveness. Word of the day on the Calm Train with Imran Siddiqui out of TheraRadio.com.
You're on the Calm Train at TheraRadio.com on VA 107.
Relax. Take a deep breath. Exhale. With TheraRadio. On TheraRadio.
Past 6 p.m. in Washington, D.C., United States, Eastern Standard Time. You're on the Calm Train with Imran Siddiqui. And we're talking about forgiveness today. Forgiveness is the intentional decision to let go of resentment, anger, or the desire for revenge towards someone who has hurt or wronged you. It doesn't mean to forget or excuse the offense, but it's all about freeing yourself from the emotional burden that the offense has placed on you. It's not even about let's go and reconcile. It's a gift you give to yourself more than to the person who wronged you. but how do you do it? So I'm sure a lot of people have their own ways. I got some here that I'm going to work on. My top 10 best ways to achieve forgiveness. Number 1, acknowledge the pain. Be honest with yourself about the hurt you feel. Suppressing it only deepens resentment. Recognition is the first step toward healing. Number 2, understand what forgiveness is and isn't. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, excusing, or reconciling. It simply means letting go of the emotional grip the situation has on you. And it's beautiful. God forgives. So who are we not to forgive?
Immerse in the therapeutic sounds of TheraRadio.
on TheraRadio.
12 minutes past 6 p.m. in Washington, D.C. This is the Calm Train with Imran Siddiqui. Your train driver with ID number VA 107. VA stands for Virginia, by the way. Like D.C. stands for District of Columbia. And 107 is the ID. One of my favorite numbers, 1, 0, and 7. Three of my favorite numbers altogether. 1 is God, 0 is me, and 7 is God. 1 to 9 is all God. 0 is me. And today we're talking about forgiveness, which we love to get from others but hate to give. At least that's what I did. So, third would be reflect on the situation. Try to understand why the other person may have acted the way they did. This doesn't justify their behavior, but it humanizes them, making forgiveness easier. That's number 3. And by the way, you guys can, if you want to check out the article, after the show I publish it on TheraRadio.com, so you can check it out. Maybe it helps you. But check this out, reflecting on the situation and trying to understand why the other person may have acted the way they did, it doesn't justify their behavior, but it humanizes them. Dig that. It humanizes them. When you understand it, it humanizes them, and that makes forgiveness easier. Look at animals, man. I mean, how they forgive, yeah? It's just amazingly bizarre. That's where number 4 comes in. Practice empathy. Putting yourself in the other person's shoes helps reduce anger and softens your heart. Ask, what might I have done if I were in their situation? Probably would have done worse. And then it brings me to number 5, which I never thought about it until right now. Make the decision to forgive. I mean, thought about it, like pondered about it. Seriously. Because, during the show, I made that decision myself. And when I was taking a break, I was praying to God and I was saying, my Lord, I forgive every one of them. So the show turns out to be a therapy for me. Because forgiveness is not a feeling, it's a choice. Once you decide to forgive, your actions and mindset begin aligning with that intention. How cool is that, man? One more time. Make the decision to forgive. Forgiveness is not a feeling, it's a choice. Once you decide to forgive, your actions and mindset begin aligning with that intention. That is so sweet. You're on the Calm Train.
You're on the Calm Train at TheraRadio.com. on VA 107.
This is TheraRadio, broadcasting therapeutic sounds 24/7.
to TheraRadio on TheraRadio.
25 minutes past 6 p.m. in Washington. This is the Calm Train with Imran Siddiqui. Coming at you live from Washington, and we're talking about forgiveness. Beautiful word, forgiveness. Something that a lot of people don't like to give, including myself. But that was my old self until today, because with this show I learned a lot. It was like introspection, retrospection, and all of the inspections all together. Because number 5 is make the decision to forgive. Forgiveness is not a feeling, it's a choice. Once you decide to forgive, your actions and mindset begin aligning with that intention. Simple. And you can actually feel it inside. Number 6 would be let go of the need for revenge or justice. Ooh. Vengeance is of thy Lord. But I've been the kind of guy who like to take revenge. Or, bring people to justice, I'm gonna put him in his place. Yeah, I got put in my place. Because when you let go of the need for revenge or justice, you are releasing the desire for payback. That brings emotional freedom. Holding on to that desire only chains you to the past. Look at this guy, he's got 2 drinks in 2 hands. Do let go of the past. Number 7, talk it out if possible. That's what I'm doing right now, yeah? Talking to myself. Talking to the ether, talking to the air out there. It's just going live on air. If safe and appropriate, talk to the person who hurt you. What if that person is a senile? That would be a problem. But honest conversation can bring clarity and healing. Honest conversations can truly bring clarity and healing, that's true. But with someone who doesn't have a mind left, you just forgive and move on. Number 8, use meditation or prayer. I would say prayer. Reflective practices like mindfulness, meditation, and prayer can help clear emotional blockages and cultivate compassion. I don't know, but I do know prayer has that power. So make that prayer. Number 9 would be write a forgiveness letter. Weird, but try it. A forgiveness letter. You don't have to send it. But writing it helps you express your feelings, clarify your thoughts, and symbolically releases the pain. They can read it after you die. Or they don't have to read it. It's just for yourself. Because remember, forgiveness is a gift to yourself, more than the one who has hurt you. Last, number 10 would be seek professional help if needed. Yeah. Like go to therapy or Get a psychiatrist or something. Psych evaluation. Professional help if needed. Sometimes the wound is too deep. Therapists are, advisors can guide you through the process in a safe and structured way.
Serenade on TheraRadio.
Number 10 was kind of corny. Seek professional help to get, what, further screwed? The problem with seeking this so-called today's professional help would, land you in a lot of pain meds, which is really, really fucked up. I mean, it's much better to stay away from those drugs and rely on the best medicine, which is through food. Food is your medicine, man. I mean, God knew that there are people living in Amazon jungle. They won't have access to medical health centers, so how do they get well? God heals them through food and all the stuff that He grows and sends us. There's powerful healing in it, as long as you're having pure food and pure water. I got a couple of more minutes before I sign out, so just wanted to remind you guys that forgiveness, it's your intentional decision to let go of resentment, anger, and the desire for revenge towards someone who has hurt or wronged you. It doesn't mean forgetting or excusing the offense, nor does it require anything, actually. You don't have to reconcile with anything. You just free yourself by forgiving from that emotional burden that the offense has placed on you, which means it's a gift you give to yourself more than to the person who wronged you. This is the Calm Train with Imran Siddiqui on VA107.com.
TheraRadio on TheraRadio.com.
You're listening to The Calm Train out of Thera.com on VA 107.
34 minutes past 6 p.m. in Washington, D.C. The Calm Train is about to pull a stop. Probably in like 6 minutes or so, the calm train will reach its destination. But how to use forgiveness in our daily lives would be a question to ask. How would that work? How to use forgiveness in our daily lives? Well, one, let go of small grudges. Someone cuts you off in traffic. A co-worker snaps at you. Choose not to internalize these things. You deserve peace, man, more than anger. Start each day fresh. Don't carry yesterday's emotional baggage into today. Reset your emotional state each morning. Model forgiveness. When others see you forgiving, it encourages them to do the same. This creates a ripple effect of kindness and understanding. That would be a really cool place to live in, where people are just forgiving. But for that, I got to be that first myself. This has been your train driver, Imran Siddiqui, driving the calm train all the way from New York City to Washington, D.C. and back. For more, if you want to get to more destinations, you can check out TheraRadio.com and VA107.com and try the music out there. All of that stuff is produced by Imran Siddiqui, released by Global Crossover Records. And it just makes me feel better inside, playing the music and talking about it, rather than other bullshit that's going on around us. A lot of stuff is going on, I know, but peace is more important. So I wish you guys a pleasant and peaceful evening or day or night ahead. This is Imran Siddiqui signing out. You're on the calm train at TheraRadio.com.
The Calm Train at TheraRadio.com on VA 107.